But here's what I want to promise you, is that by the time you leave today, that you will feel, number one, that God is moving in your lives. And then number two, you will come to realize that God is doing something very, very special in Eastern Kentucky. Come on, can we give God some praise for that? Amen.
This is what it looks like when God runs the show in our community. This is what happens. That's why we're here. We're trying to figure this out with each other. What does it look like when God runs the show and we partner with him? We don't work for him, we work with him in what he's already doing in our communities.
Impact your community. Get involved in your community. Find out what your community needs and see how God is going to use your life or your church or your organization to bring the kingdom to his community. So how do you impact your community? By finding out what your community needs.
And there's so many times over the last 7 years where I've seen, we got Faith Life Market, a coffee shop. We got the boxing gym, Battle Line Boxing Club over on the bypass. We were praying about a building beside the boxing gym, the old Thacker Auto Parts store. They were trying to sell it to us. It was the same family. We're praying about, should we buy this building? God, do you want to use it? Give us the resources. And the city calls us. They were getting ready to condemn it and tear it down. And they said, we were doing the title work on this to condemn the building. It looks like you all own it. And I said, what? And so we did some research, and when they did the deed for the boxing gym, they'd included a building and a house in it. And God had given it to us 2 years while we were thinking about buying it. He's like, I already gave it to you.
So now we look at today, and ARC has over 1,000 full-time paid employees, and a third of those people are actually in recovery.
And burnout affects way more of us than we would like to admit a lot of the time. So we're going to be talking about what the actual definition of burnout is, what we do about it, how we can move forward, and the hope that we have in addressing it. So
We're planting Glory Church. Glory, it's the weight of all that God is. So we want the focus to be on God, on his greatness, on what he has done through Jesus Christ, his son, and see people come to know him.
That I actually found myself in the same seats that you're in a year ago. Whenever me and the lead pastor of Better Life Church, Daniel Lucas, me being a campus pastor in Grayson, Kentucky, over that campus, began to have the conversation of what would it look like for us to not just be a campus, to actually be our own independent and autonomous church.
What we're trying to do in this movement is one deeply tied to this region, right? It is how do we grow the church? How do we mobilize the church? And I think so hard about Romans chapter 4. It said Abraham was counted as righteous because he believed. He had faith. But he believed in the God who brings dead things back to life and makes new things out of nothing. 10 years from now, the greatest skeptic says, man, what happened in that place? That had to be God.